Yesterday, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg joined his Canadian counterpart, as well as Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Mayor Mike Duggan, to announce an 872-mile EV corridor stretching from Kalamazoo, Michigan to Quebec City, Canada.
The route will have fast DC chargers every 50 miles as part of the U.S.'s goal to have 50% of all new car sales electric by 2030.
We are joined now by the managing director of thedetroitbureau.com, Michael Strong. Thanks for joining us, Michael.
No problem.
So this seems like a really big deal. 50 miles, that seems to eliminate the concept of range anxiety. People feeling like they can't charge their cars.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you can get in a car and go anywhere and not have to worry about it, it's, it virtually eliminates the biggest impediment, I think, to buying an EV right now.
How much of the infrastructure is in place?
Probably not a lot. They're talking about, putting chargers every 50 miles, and if you take a drive between on I-94 between here and Kalamazoo, you're not going to see a lot of chargers. That's stuff that's got to come. The state of Michigan's got $110 million coming to help them do that. It's about 150 miles between Kalamazoo and Detroit, and then the other 600 miles will all be in Canada.
Now, the government's goal is for most new car sales to be electric pretty soon. We're talking about chargers every 50 miles, but how many chargers? If everybody's driving an EV, is it enough to support that many vehicles?
The magical, mystical number, how many do we need? And when will, and the other number, or the other thing being, when will they get here? It's hard to say. Everybody talks about the problems with the electric grid. Is it going to be able to handle that many people driving that many electric vehicles? We just don't know yet. The upside is that every day the technology gets better. The demand that it needs to charge is lower. So I would imagine by 2030, they'll be much more efficient than they are now, and they're pretty efficient now.
Do you envision, it's hard to maybe do this, but envision 20 years from now that there will no longer be gas stations?
No, because you're still going to have half of the cars built be internal combustion powered, and they're going to need gas, and you're still going to have, the average age of a car right now is 12 and a half years. So think another 12 and a half years of new gas powered cars as of 2030. So now you're looking at 2042, 2043, 2050. Those cars are still going to need gas. So gas stations are going to be around for a while. So if you need, a Pepsi or bag of chips, you're going to be in good shape.
How big of a deal do you think this role is that Michigan is playing? This seems like a huge, especially an international agreement here with Canada.
Well, I mean, the border crossing with Windsor is the largest international crossing in the world. So Michigan obviously has a big role in it. Governor Whitmer is looking to push Michigan to the forefront in terms of being a technological powerhouse. She's working diligently, it seems, to ensure that there are battery factories coming here, EVs are built here, and they're working hard to make a place for the talent needed to build those things and design those things is coming to Michigan as well. For
people that are new to this topic, what are the biggest advantages and disadvantages of going this route, going to EVs, and with this hard deadline that they're setting here for 2030?
Well, I mean, if you like a quiet car that is, like driving a go-kart, it's great. I mean, I drove a Genesis GV60 yesterday, and it was just, zip, zip, zip. Now, mind you, around Detroit, that's a little harder because you're going traffic light to traffic light. But, and in terms of maintenance, after the first year, EVs are they cost a lot less to maintain. There's no oil, there's no gears, there's no any of that. So they're a lot easier to maintain. They'll last a lot longer. The downside is that takes fewer people to build them. So that's why Governor Whitmer and others are working hard to attract more and more factories here to keep some of those jobs here.
With all that said, do you see in the future the Motor City becoming the Battery City?
Well, they're called electric motors, so I don't think we need to change the name quite yet.
The Electric Motor City.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
All right.
Well, Michael Strong, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate the insight.
No problem. My pleasure.